Hey everybody, Casey Meraz here with Lawyer SEO Marketing and Ethical SEO Consulting. Just wanted to do a quick video today to talk a little bit about this famous keyword that everybody wants to rank for your personal injury attorney in LA, and that is Los Angeles personal injury attorney. Now, this is a very expensive keyword if you're doing pay-per-click. It could get over $100, so you can see why the value is there and why people are so interested in it. And people fight pretty heavily for this, whether it's the local rankings, which we're looking at here, labeled A through G, or the organic rankings that show up below here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the ultimate strategy is kind of in my mind, as well as some of the stuff that's being done out there, and also things that you want to avoid. One of the problems with SEO is that people see people ranked like Farrar, for example, right here, and they say, okay, let's find out what they're doing, let's replicate that, and then we will win. In this industry, you got to be very careful about that, and it requires doing due diligence. And let's take a look at that and see, what these guys are doing, why they're ranking, and how they're showing up here. So starting with the local results, when we're looking at A and B here, you'll notice that both A and B, Farrar and Wilshire Law Firm, are also the first and second organic result as well. So since the Pigeon update back in July, I believe, we've seen a lot more of the local results adapt to the organic ranking signals in a much stronger way. And what I really mean by that, and the metric that I'm going to be talking most about, is links. Okay, links have always been very important in driving organic SEO traffic, and they've always had a benefit in local traffic as well. However, for these rankings, they're now more aligned. They're more concurrent, where basically if you have strong, good links, you can dominate both here. And that's exactly what these two firms are doing a good job of, at least on the surface right now, for this particular keyword. So what I want to do is go ahead and dive into this. So let's start by taking a look at these people in more detail here. If I open up Farrar's website, he has a pretty decent website here as it loads. Looks nice, and it has easy contact information, videos, trust signals, everything that a good site would be. If you're looking from a visual standpoint, those are all things that you might think might be on a good site. And then if you go to practice areas here, he has a list of practice areas. Again, that header doesn't change, but then they're broken up by here. What's interesting about this site is that even though it's such a competitive market, you'll notice his content is pretty thin. So Los Angeles car accident lawyers, a few sentences here, I think like 500 words last time I checked, kind of the bare minimum. It's definitely not what you would expect to see given what Google's pushing. These really high quality sites, creating these resources that have earned links. And that's why I'm saying, it gets a little dangerous if you're trying to copy the competition, because that's what these people are doing right now in a lot of these cases. And the issue becomes that you have 1,000 law firms out there all trying to optimize for this keyword with all just kind of generic content that's, just the very basics. It's not a resource. You're not differentiating yourself from any other law firm. It's just like all of your business cards are in one pile, and I'm only looking at this one because it's on top. So why is he ranking? That's going to come down to links, in my opinion here. So I pulled up Ahrefs. It's a tool I use to check for links, and I've been looking at this actively for the past year for sure, probably longer. I've been involved in this particular industry, Los Angeles car accident lawyers, for the past 5 years. So I know a lot about what's going on. I track it very closely, and I've seen it, over the years. So what I've seen specifically with him is right now we're looking at his do follow links. These are the other web pages that are linking back to his site. And what I found is his link profile is very similar in that copying method. So for example, Snitz Forums here, he has a link. I'm going to pull that up in another window. I'm going to pull up Redmine here, and then Forbes. So first of all, let's take a look at his top 3 links here. Snitz, this is a donation forum. As you can see, this link, not really useful, right? It's obviously was a paid link, not technically because of the it was a donation, but regardless, there was a money exchange, and then there's a link here. This is not a strong link, okay? This is something that I would expect to be penalized eventually. But what's also interesting is all these other lawyers saw this, and so they added theirs. So here's Farrar's right here. I bet if I just did a Los Angeles search, that's search engine optimization. But if I do like attorney or something, top personal injury attorney, San Diego attorney, you see his competitors are finding this and copying this as well. So very interesting. So kind of a bad link, not really what I would shoot for at all. Next, we have these donors for Redmine here. Redmine, this is a software related link. And again, same type of thing with donations. And then you'll see Farrar on here. And then you see, other Farrar Criminal Defense. This is another website that they own. Best Injury Lawyers, Reeves Law Group, Gray Law. Again, copying each other is what gets people penalized when you do this stuff. And then his second most powerful link was actually completely legitimate here, at least from what I could tell, meaning you have no idea if there was a money exchange for Forbes author here. Hopefully not, but this is the kind of link that you would want. Okay, this is possibly naturally occurring here, and it's mentioned in Forbes. So great website, a lot of authority, great link. So that totally legit, no problems there. And then you start getting into some of the more shady stuff that they've done as far as their link juice to get up there. So of course he's linking from his other site, and then there's also this schoolmatters.com. What this appears to be, this School Matters, even though at first glance it looks like, oh, it's his website or something like that. What it is it's really in my opinion, an expired domain. It looks like this used to be probably a more powerful website. Maybe the domain expired and they bought it, and then they threw this on here, and then they link back to themselves. So they're just kind of creating their own blog network in a sense there. And there's a lot of authority behind this site, so I can see why it was done. It was just definitely done in a very spammy link network way. So it'll be interesting to see how that stands the test of time, specifically because all of the backlinks to schoolmatters.com are unrelated as well. So that basically, what I'm saying is it has authority because it's being linked to from other authority websites, but it's not really related to law. In fact, if you see here, we'll just go ahead and pull this up and take a look at some of their links. And I'm going to scroll down to the top anchors here. This is the clickable text that other websites have on their website that people are clicking on to get to this website. So School Matters is number one, and then their website, School Ranking, School Matters. Definitely nothing really with attorneys until you get down to some of the newer links being built where they were probably trying to create this, or may still actively be trying to create this as a microsite or kind of a backup plan in case they do in fact get penalized, because right now they're not penalized. So again, there's just a lot of weird, bad links coming to the site. That Forbes one was new. And one thing that I saw that was interesting that they were also doing that I don't really agree with is they were adding some links and then removing them. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but it could also be for the residual link effects. So basically, maybe it's sticking around and giving a benefit for longer, even though that link is removed. And that's something that I've seen quite often as far as it goes to the site. But we saw that they're ranking number one, and when we look up here, we see that they're doing it with very few, basically, links. So overall, this is sorted by the number of do-follow links detected by this tool with one backlink per domain. So it's basically 38 domains that this has detected. Now, if I run other tools, I'm going to get a lot of different data in there too, but it's a good benchmark to kind of see where they stand and what they're doing. So the reason that Farrar is ranking right now where we were looking is because basically his links, and it's influencing his local rankings and his organic rankings. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the Wilshire law firm, just kind of see what they have going on here. And just to be very clear, I'm very against any of that. People get penalized, especially in the attorney market, very fast, and sometimes it does take a while, but when it happens, it's bad. And so it's sad that people are still taking that route and trying to game these a lot. So Wilshire law firm looks like they've done a lot of link building recently because that's been growing. So, and they're obviously number two right now. Their anchor text, Wilshire law firm, those are pretty natural. So that looks pretty legit overall. Now let's take a look at some of his links here. All right. And we'll do the same thing where we're only going to look at the do follow ones and one link per domain, just to make this a little bit easier to look at. And again, very few links, okay? And I'm going to show you why that's important here in just a minute. So again, kind of the copying status, if you've been in this industry, $1 Million Advocates, you basically pay to play there, and you get a link. All the lawyers do it. Super Lawyers, not everybody is on that. That's actually owned by Thomson Reuters, but you can be nominated for that and get a very decent link there. Justia, of course, that's a free profile. Avo, FineLaw, you know, those are all links that you can get. I don't see a lot of content marketing links right here, but there are, you know, definitely some different ones that we didn't see before from pretty high authority sites too. So let me see what this is. This website looks kind of shitty, but it is what it is. Okay. And then we have, what else do we have here? freelaw.ca. Free Law Canada. Okay, so again, you know, this obviously looks like kind of a blog network or something like that. It doesn't look like a very active site. And I'm just judging the book by its cover here, but you can kind of tell. So, no problem. Well, yeah, definitely some problems there. So, anyway, very interesting. So, the reason that I wanted to show you those links is, you know, if we look at a different website, let's look at maybe Eline here. You know, you start looking at the backlink numbers and you start seeing, oh, okay, they have a lot more backlinks. And he's had a dramatic decrease, actually. And probably, you know, of course, trying to remove these bad ones as well to make sure that he doesn't get penalized. And I think he was also in a negative SEO campaign. I believe he mentioned that online at some point. So anyway, but these numbers way out of proportion for other law firms. So it's no longer about the number of links. It really is the quality of links. And not only is it the quality of links, if you want to be a long-term player and compete in this market, it's really about developing strategies that aren't trying to manipulate Google. Because when you get caught, you will disappear from the search engines. And it could be a year, it could be longer. Google may never regain trust in your site to the full authority that it once had. So that's something that's very important to keep in mind. You know, and how serious these things are. Because if you are dependent on a caseload from the internet and that disappears, you have to be ready to adapt to that. And so what would the ultimate strategy be in my mind? Of course, having a strong website, playing locally, playing organically, but also I would say Barnacle SEO, Barnacle SEO, Barnacle SEO. And what Barnacle SEO is it's showing up in basically multiple places that you can for this search. So obviously we could show up locally. Obviously we could show up organically. But what if, for example, we were also #1 on Yelp here, #2 on Yelp, so that the users that clicked on the Yelp result here then saw you here. So Wilshire is doing this Barnacle effort through the Yelp ads, and that's definitely one way to go. I always prefer organically, so I would try to do this. And this is mostly based off of reviews. And reviews with Yelp are a little bit hard because you're not supposed to, you know, solicit them and things like that, which obviously with these review numbers, they're probably doing something. For attorneys, one thing that I have seen is, you know, if they drop off the settlement checks at the client's home, you know, they can say, hey, if you're satisfied, you know, here's Yelp. So leave us a review, or Google Plus, whatever that is that you want to do. And that's just something that I've seen a little bit recently that I thought was interesting. So that would be a part of Barnacle SEO. And then, of course, ranking on Avo and Thumbtack if possible. Thumbtack is a pay-to-play service as well. Avo has their sponsored listings right here, but then underneath there it has their top-rated attorneys. And notice how these are all 10.0. So you want to have a 10.0 rating on Avo. And that's something that we do with our clients, as we try to help them reach that goal as, you know, this definitely changes over time. So, you know, you always want to be in as many places as possible, in my mind, for the ideal strategy. So if you did, in fact, want to win and win big, I would be locally, I'd be organically, I would shoot for the top of Yelp. I would shoot for increasing my exposure on Avvo. I would also do it for lawyers.com and any other directory that shows up in the searches that I want to dominate. You really have to have these goals now, and you have to be producing this content everywhere on a site that's actually the resource. Now, if you want to earn links and not do this spammy crap or copy other people, you have to create the ultimate resource. And that's the direction we push our clients now. And when you do it, the results are amazing. So it's worth a lot, or it takes a lot of work, and it's not easy, but if you do it and you commit to it, you will win. On the other hand, if you don't, you're going to risk penalty. So whether you're working with an SEO company or not, it's always a good idea to get things checked out to see how your site health is, because if you're penalized or manually or algorithmically, you could already be lost. You could already be in a position where you're not ranking and not going to. So always get that checked out. So that's kind of my quick little analysis over here for you. Just wanted to run that by you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or comment on the video, whatever works for you, and we'll be in touch. Thanks.